Hi there, my name is Todd Akes. I'm with Akes Pro Business Coaching in Henderson, Nevada. And today I'm going to talk about burnout. That's a pretty common topic in society today, and it's especially a common topic in coaching and business overall. And I want to start by saying that burnout it's a natural part of life. When you play hard, you pour it on strong, you're chasing down goals and aspirations to get to burnout. It's perfectly normal. But a lot of times I see people, they operate a lot of their lives there. An example would be worry, a lot of worry. Very much a victim mentality. I see quite often. And there's a couple things with that. There tends to be a perceived lack, or there could be a real lack there. Sometimes when people are overwhelmed, they don't take care of themselves. The lack there is really self-care. It's really that margin in their lives. It may be emotional margin. It could be financial margin too. I mean, if they're working hard and they're just spending all their money, there may not be the financial margin there either, and that can, of course, lead to worry naturally. But there can also be a perceived lack. And that's when it's very psychological. That's when it's very energetic. So let's get back to this victim mentality, because that's something that I'm looking for and I see quite often in the people that I coach. And some examples of business would be that, the business environment is just unfair. You can't make a sale out there. Right? It's just an impossible environment to do business in right now. Something else I may hear is that my clients always do that to me. And we all get there. Like I said at the start of this video, we all get into a victim mentality at times. It's part of life. It's part of being a human being. It becomes a challenge when I see my clients spend a lot of time there, or friends or anybody else, where they spend a ton of time in victim mentality. Because what that leads to, it leads to apathy. And apathy, I mean, that's just a lack of enthusiasm. And it can be depression as well when we spend too much time there as human beings. So, of course, that can be catastrophic. And over a long period of time, that can really lead to lethargy, where you just don't want to do anything. Everything is a chore. What's the point? I'll burn out. I don't want to do this anymore. And a lot of times when my clients come to me, what I tell them is that could be a very poor time to make a decision. Because when we make a decision from burnout, it can be very emotional. Well, it tends to be very emotional. So it's very common for me to see somebody go, "Hey, I just want out from under this. I just want to quit." And what I typically tell them is, "Hey, let's really work on this and get you in a better place energetically first, before we just throw it all away. Let's get you in a place where we can get some logic back in the equation. I can help you work through this and find maybe some paths you haven't seen before, maybe some opportunities that you can't see when you're burnt out." So I often see that victim mentality that at the deepest depths of burnout. Another thing that I see with people that are burnt out is constant conflict, where they're angry quite often. It could be inner conflict with yourself. It could be outer conflict with everybody else, where you're trying to pick a fight. You have this deep need to be right. Judgment is very heavy in our businesses and in ourselves when we're in a lot of conflict. And clearly that is going to affect everything you do, the way you lead, the way you engage your clients, the way you show up at the house. And the truth of the matter is, the victim mentality is stress. inner and outer conflict is stress. And the truth of it is, it's a vicious cycle a lot of times. So your burnout victim mentality, and then you fight your way out of it. Get on your own case or whatever the situation is. But once you lose that will to fight back out of that victim mentality, you go, a lot of times what happens is we go right back into that victim mentality, right into that burnout, right into that apathy, right into that lethargy. And a lot of Americans and business owners, it's just a vicious cycle. I'm under stress, I'm mad, I'm conflict, frustration, and then run out of gas, run out of energy, right back to victim mentality. So it's this vicious cycle of stress. That's why people have heart attacks. That's why they overeat. There's so many side effects of habitual stress. So why would you come to a business coach for that? That's a great question. I think the number one thing with me is I've been there. I've been so burned out. And I've learned how to work through it. I've learned how to stay there for a very short period of time personally. I've been in deep burnout. I've been depressed a lot. I've been an alcoholic. I mean, I've been so many of those things where I spent so much time in those low levels of energy where I was a victim and everything was unfair. So I worked through a heavy patch of that a decade ago, and it still comes into play. I mean, it comes into play for everybody if you're a human being. And if somebody tells me that it doesn't happen, I would really question how authentic they're being. But the key there with bounce back is really to recognize it, be able to shift out of it very, very quickly. And sometimes that comes down to making some life changes. Other times it's just a matter of really the reps from a mentality standpoint, a psychological standpoint. The second reason that I'm qualified to help my clients with this is I've been professionally trained to help my clients work through these things, to recognize them, recognize these traits in my clients, and to do it with non-judgment. I understand how it is. I understand what got you there. And that understanding of what's got you there personally is a big part of it. With my training, with my experience, I often can see what's going on. I can see in the picture and go, hey, how true is this for you? Look at your values assessment and see perhaps what's not being served in your life. Look at the energy leadership index assessment and see what is triggering you into stress. Is it a trust issue? Is it really some of the things with the victim mentality that or just everything happens to you? Life is against you. So I love this work because it's life-changing work. Once we start to shift you out of this mindset, victim mentality, out of conflict, then you can start to access all the beautiful energy levels when you're out of stress. But a lot of times first, changes have to be made. Mindsets have to be reframed. And that begins to set you free. Over time, it's a step-by-step process. But if you come in burnout, I'm going to stress that we really need to consider getting you in a better place energetically before any major decisions are made. And that can take some time. But I believe it's going to lead to the best results. We're going to get you in a better place. And now we start to see the opportunities that you haven't seen before. Now we can blaze that new path. That is exciting. That's an alignment for you. We found the clarity you need to make those decisions. It's a huge part of business. It's a huge part of life. Just finding that enthusiasm again, finding that new path that is attractive. So if you're in a place of burnout now in your business, I would love to talk to you. I would love to have the opportunity to try to help you work through it. And just keep in mind that it's okay to be there. We all get there. We've all been there. It's part of the life experience. But if we can get you to the point where you spend a lot less time there, you can recognize it, you can shift yourself out more often than not. That's a huge life skill. That's a huge business skill. Hope this helps you. Take care.